their kingdom, which is the headquarters of Ahoada West, has been without power supply. That was the first thing we did as a government to ensure that the headquarters of the LGA is powered. That's human capacity development project. And when you talk one about ourselves directly, just during December coming down now, if I list the projects for you, even your listeners may start clapping wherever they are. Because I could not have found a government that would have paid 2,000 indigenous of Ahoada West, 30,000 naira, the monthly empowerment. We just came out from the flood era. And as a government, we have left we have made the post-flood era something that the people will be able to find something to cushion with. And 2,000 households, find out from anyone who's from Ahoada West, have been empowered with 30,000 naira in December to ensure that they find a way to, have a better system of December to get, coming from the flood where they had their farm produce and their all of what.
As fantastic as that sounds, 30,000 naira, men would not ask for that. What is...
To tell you what and what we have done that is currently affecting
the people. What is the economic blueprint? Now, this act of, the 30,000 naira, we understand that the state government was very vocal about it, ensuring that workers at the various councils get this package and ensure that the council chairman...
The workers at the various councils have their 50,000. That's a different one. I'm talking about the CBD of Ahoada West. 2,000 family households have this other one. That's different.
All right.
Now, going to the blueprint, I'm not spend your time too much. Going to the blueprint of the council, when you want to see how a man will perform in 3 years, in 6 years, you will find it from how he has begun. And the kind of project that the chairman has initiated, if communities do not have a place to gather and sit as a people, a civic environment, a civic center, a secretariat hall, that community will be living in shambles. They'll be living under the trees. They'll be having their meetings in the houses of people. And I'm speaking with you now, a Bayback community. I'm speaking with you now, Umber community. I'm speaking with you now, the communities. And all the civic centers for these communities have past window level. When I'm discussing that 100, they all pass window. I think they are money involved projects. Now, go the way to directive. They've had a water problem in directive. They're surrounded by water, but there's no drinkable water in the community. In this very 100 days in office, the Commissioner for Water Resources, Honorable Sam Eiba, on the 1st January, will be commissioning the revamped Ugbe Community Water Project. We're not saying we will be commissioning that project. That is a core human capacity community-based project. If we are living without a clean source of water to drink, in fact, it's an international emergency if we don't have clean drinkable water. I was ensured that if the government of all the years past would not have provided water for these communities, we want to make sure we are doing that and doing it very quickly. For our manifesto going forward, of which we know that the House is excellent, we have a system in place to make sure that the security of the area is 100% first.
So sorry, Mr. David, we have to get it clear. What is the manifesto of the chairman? I can tell you for the state government, we know what the manifesto is. We got that document out, and almost every Rivers person have heard it and knows that, the agenda of the state government and the areas that they are focusing on mostly education, health, agriculture, mandate areas. And you can see that reflect in the budget. At the local government level, with the autonomy and the access to funds now, these kind of questions are now being asked. So
let me correct you.
Yes.
In Ahoada West, we have passed the area of promises. Now I'm trying to make you understand. I can tell you, in education, we want to build 100 schools. We have now passed the area of promises. We are implementing already.
It is not promises. No, understand me, Mr. David. We have a commercial coming. If I want to get a document that I would look at and say, this is the chairman's dream for Ahoada West, written down in black and white, and this is what he's following, different sectors that he's working, are you going to tell me that the various projects that he has embarked on, how did he choose those projects? There must have been there must have been something that he worked with. After the commercial.
During our campaign.
After the commercial. Hold on. After the commercial, you tell us more about that. Please just stay on the line for us. Thank you.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.
Mr. Joe Esedi. Quite a lot has been said. Council chairman celebrating 100 days in office. Plenty of activities lined up. He's so far been giving us insight into what his council has been up to and what the chairman is doing with regards to improving the well-being of people in Ahoada West. Mr. David, thank you very much for staying on the line for us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, before we go to the phone lines and take some messages, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have questions, and especially those that would be in your council. I would need you to complete your line of thought. Before the break, I was asking, a manifesto is seen as a document through which people are able to, it gives them an idea of what whoever is leading them is doing and how they are doing it. So it doesn't look as though they are just randomly picking any project, picking anything that they see or whatever they feel is what the people need, and then that's what they go do. A manifesto for many people gives you an insight as to how prepared you are and the direction in which you are following and the things that you want to really do in the various sectors as it concerns the people. So you would understand if, we need you to let us understand what is the manifesto of the council chairman in Ahoada West. In agriculture, what is the plan? In health, what is the plan? In education, what is the plan?
Mr. Andrew?
Yes.
Now, when you're working with someone who is a core technocrat, issues of manifesto is very basic and very available. And have the black and white copy every time with me.
So can you perhaps send to me?
I will.
All right.
I will.
Okay.
I'll read a few to you right away.
All right.
In November 2024, we were the first, before maybe other councils came around to do same, to enter into a supplementary budget. In November, after we were sworn in October. And that supplementary budget was made to cover up, we had about 1.9 billion naira capital expenditure in that budget. It was made to cover up for all of these projects till the 2025 budget is effective. And I can tell you for a fact that if you want to read a manifesto sector by sector, for education, we promised in that supplementary budget that we will renovate and equip schools with modern facilities. We'll provide free and subsidized education programs for indigent children, which we are already in the implementation stage. We said in that budget that we are going to partner with NGOs and private organizations to fund educational initiatives, and we are doing that already. If we move all the way to healthcare, if the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Adezi, she was in the council 3 days ago, haven't felt the impact of what we have done so far. It was given in the news. And we have ensured that in the health sector area, we upgrade the existing health centers with modern equipment. We recruit and qualify medical personnel to provide ongoing training. And of course, we promise that we'll have a free medical care, which we've already seen starting from the aged and the widows. If we move all the way down from that infrastructure, we are promised to build and maintain roads, bridges, and drainages. And in these very 100 days, we are going to flag off 2 major road projects in the LGA.
All of these you're saying was from the supplementary budget, or?
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, straight up. In agriculture, like we are doing now, we have created a system to support farmers with access to at least the basic machineries of farming. In fact, the state government is trying to partner with us on that post-flood era arrangement so that we can have some of the supplements for farmers who have lost so much during the farm flood area. And that is captured in our budget.
So is that something that, what has been done in that direction for these 100 days? Because I asked that question earlier. We know that Ahoada West, the people there are largely farmers. Let me put the question properly, Mr. David. People in Ahoada West are largely farmers. Are there any incentives to give them access to fertilizers to help them get better cassava stems?
No, let me tell you now.
Those who are fishermen, what is happening? Are they getting fishing nets, fishing canoes?
Let me tell you now. In Ahoada West, the basic need of a farmer in post-flood era is not the fertilizer. It is the cassava stem, because our staple food here is cassava. We have been able to start distribution of cassava stems from the communities that have been affected. Some are yet to get, some have gotten. That is the first basic thing we did to cushion the farmers' effect. And this is a core farming season. People are already cutting down bushes, trying to plant. So we're sending them cassava stems as a first palliative.
But I hope you realize that we are not talking about what you're doing for post-flood. Post-flood is understandable. You did that. It's an emergency approach to try and resettle people. I'm talking as your agenda on your manifesto, the plan for the agricultural sector on the long term.
You're not listening.
Go on.
Black and white, it is written to support farmers with access to both fertilizers, seeds, and machinery. From what you have said, what have we done? That's governance. Don't be used to what they say. Should be used to what have they done. And we have told you clearly that we have been able to promise this, and we have now done this. And that's what every other LGA should be telling you. Now the state government and the federal government should be telling you. They can promise you that fuel will be 5 naira per liter. That's the promise. If it comes to what they have now implemented, then you can hold them accountable to that. On the black and white paper, we know we have ways of encouraging youth involvement in agriculture through a permanent program. We know we have the of agricultural extension services. We know we have promotion of food processing and preservation plants. But what have we done is more important than how we have promised. And I'm telling you, from security to economic development to environmental sanitation to health to infrastructure to education to even to governance administration, we have promised a lot of things, and we have done a lot of things within 100 days in office.
All right.
And these things we have done are verifiable. These things we have done are visible. These things we have done can be compared with other governments and with other former governments and even with other LGAs if you want to.
Okay.
And I'll give you a list of what's happening in the 100 days as celebratory activities. And there are 16 things there. For those who may not have heard it, we have, in fact, it was for the magnanimity of what the chairman has done so far that we received over 500 defectors from both the diplomatic movement, from those who feel they were not simplified before, becoming simplified. And I want to advance VP represented by leaders of the assembly, Honorable Sokari, was here in Ahoada West LGA to receive these people because of their love, how they have seen that the LGA chairman has performed. I have told you the DSS building you can confirm from them is the public sector. They have rebranded their office. The schools that have no desks, in fact, now there are still not more. We are pushing 1,000 school desks. Yesterday, at Indiana, children have to wait across the road, very risky areas, not the market area, to go to school.
All right. Well said. I like the fact that you're highlighting this. I'm also waiting if you can send us that manifesto document you say you have with you there, so we can also begin to tick the things that you're doing and put them side by side. But before we take, you can just send that to me now online. If you can send that to me online now, I'll be very grateful. While we wait on that, I'd like to respond to this before we take a few calls. What is happening with the minimum wage for local government workers in your council?
Sweet question. Now, we are the first local government area to clean up the jam-packed and mobile payment schedule system. Before now, even local government area council workers do not even have a payment slip. I speak with you now, the payment slip of what you earn, what your bill level is, what your step is being issued to staff of council after their payment. ComHealth is a special, you call it a consolidated health payment structure. ComHealth, we have been the first LGA to implement ComHealth in the state. You can find out. In fact, the commissioner was here, Professor Kilika was here, the primary health care board general secretary was here. They confirmed to us with the members of health that was with us, that these things have been implemented. And so the minimum wage, immediately the signal for LGA to implement, as stated by the state already, we will kickstart immediately because we already rebranded our system. We have made sure the system is cleaned up from all the modeling. Some people don't even know what level they are. Some say they are grade level 10, step that. Some say they are 13, step 15, and all of those models up. It has been cleaned up. It has been effective. They've been told where they are per time. And then the those of which have been, whose salary were underpaid, have been rescheduled properly. Those who were ghost workers are finding a way to run to the ghost area of town because Canada is just within us. And so all of those administrative bottlenecks that were there before have been cut off. Find out from health workers now, they have received the new...
What about the minimum wage of 70,000 naira approved, which is to be domesticated at the local government council?
It comes from different strata. There's a minimum wage for the federal government, which marks a benchmark.
Yes, that's why I said 70,000, because that is the benchmark. If you people are deciding to pay 85 like the state government, that would be fantastic. So what exactly is the negotiation like, and when should workers at the council expect to begin to receive salaries in form of the minimum wage?
Let me tell you for a fact. We are a member of the council. I'll tell you authoritatively, are simplified people. What that means is that the activities of the executive governor of Rivers State is directly, influenced into the local government areas. And because the governor of Rivers State has implemented the minimum wage in the state, all local government areas in this state, including Ahoada West government area, is going to key into that very excellently.
So at the moment, have there been any meetings or conversation with the workers and the various committees involved to structure, to adjust the salary structure based on the new minimum wage? Sorry, Mr. David, let me conclude. And are you also going to pay 85,000? Is there any meetings that have been held on whether you're also going to pay 85,000 like the state government at the local level, or you are paying 70 or you're paying 75? What exactly is your council's position? What meetings have been held? What is being said about this particular issue?
That is why I told you clearly that we are drawing excellence in governance from what Simon Fubara is doing. And if the governor has seen it needful to pay over 80,000 naira as minimum wage in Rivers State, as the time the government progresses, we're just trying to find our feet. The first 1 month was even gone for flood, second month, and this is about the third month. Then we'll find our stable and look into the minimum wage. We'll have started what our West council workers will be extremely proud of. We have not let them down from the beginning. When it comes to the minimum wage agenda, we will not let them down. I've told you already that the contest for the health workers social scheme was never there before, never paid. We have seen it as necessary, we have implemented it, we have paid it. So the minimum wage as it is will not be a problem for regulator who I know is a technocrat. So
all right.
that progressive will find that coming through.
All right, let's take a few calls now quickly on the show this morning. I'm sure the listeners each in to ask a few questions. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. On Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH is the handle. That means that you can join us live, watch, and make your contributions online. For those of us who perhaps have missed it, you joined perhaps midway. I'm speaking with the Chief Press Secretary to the Ahoada West Local Government Council, Esedi Joe David. And he's been saying quite a lot with regards to what the council chairman is doing to better the living standard of people in that council. Blessed Allah says all council chairmen need to create a room for journalists to reach their different councils, access projects that they're embarking on, so that nobody will misinform the public. Clever Sonny says workaholic chairman of Kana has also done perfectly well for the good people in Kana. Mila says the capacity chief press secretary of Ahoada West is doing well. Executive chairman of Ahoada West has done well in his 100 days in office in terms of project execution, social welfare programs, general development and leadership. We have not had it this good in the history of our council. Let's see who's on the line first. Leighton Barry from Bori, please go straight to your question. Keep it short and simple. Leighton Barry, good morning.
Good morning, Ichimi.
You're welcome. Straight to your question.
Yeah,
what?
It is very important that we talk about budget because now all the LGA chairmen are receiving direct allocation from the federal government. And so it is very necessary for all LGAs to have their budget. Then my problem with all the LGAs is that every LGA in River State has a God-given endowment. And some has a river, some have dry land where we can access food and fish from their respective LGA. I want to ask your guest in the studio. Which products is this council giving to the people of River State? What is their product? What do they produce in their LGA? Because that is what we expect them to do. After paying salary, what did you use the money for? Which product is your council producing, which we can say, okay, from Ahoada, this is what we are having from Ahoada. And that will reflect the market.
All right, Letambari, thank you. My guest is listening. I'm sure he's noting down. He would respond. In Rumokuta, Chima, your question, please. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr.
Yep, good morning.
Don't push me just to ask questions because I'm not in Ahoada, but I want to speak on the topic generally. Even for some time, I have tried to abstain myself from this topic because I know a body has come to counter all the LGA chairmen. And I believe in your office by now, maybe in your meeting when you go for board meeting, people should have an investigation committee. Before this person they come to be to say all these things, let them invite the investigation committee first. Because ordinarily where I am in Obia, but that is nothing. Sometimes when we talk with life, we are critics. Maybe we are optimistic about the comment of the day. Now we're talking about now, he has now mentioned the Commissioner for Health. Me and you know how many times she has disappointed the River State. The fire incident, how River State government has taken charge of their treatment. We heard how they said the people that were involved said that there is something like that. We heard how they went.
No, Chima, I have to correct you on that one. The people did not say there's nothing like that, and I'm pretty sure when we had that conversation that day, Chima, hold on, Chima, hold on. You might not be a fan of the government or whoever is in charge. It doesn't mean that you would not be honest. Hold on, let me remind you. You called on that show, I remember vividly, and we had that conversation when I was talking with the director, and he explained how far the payment goes. He gave a vivid explanation how far the payment goes and how it's being done to correct the impression that many of us got that it meant all through their stay in the hospital. He said that was not the case. We had that explanation, so you put it in that manner. Don't, you know.
I want to ask you a question. The people that are involved came to the station openly and cried. Who are you believing? Are you believing the government that paid and said they have done? And the man said that they have not done. We don't have money to pay. And the commissioner came to dispute that. So you want to believe the commissioner as a journalist, as a presenter?
Yes, because I got two sides of the story, Chima. So that's it. You are choosing to take what you want is understandable, but the people in the hospital had their say, and the explanation was made so you can understand better. If you refuse to understand better, well, that will be up to you, Chima, unfortunately. But perhaps when I take a few more calls, I'll explain so you understand exactly what the situation is. Kinsley from Iche, thank you very much. We lost that call. Sotin in Ahoada West, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, presenter.
All right, good morning.
And good morning, Joe David. I want to ask a question. But before I ask that question, I want to, frankly, because I'm from that LGA.
Okay.
I want to frankly thank the chairman of council for identifying a critical need in the education sector, which has to do with the provision of desks, because it's so worrisome. So worrisome that you see students sitting on the floor. So for chairman to identify that need, that various schools, like in my community, is where I joined Ahoada West, government secondary school, there are no desks, and so many other primary schools. So for chairman of council, amongst other things I must commend him for, to think of provision. The presenter just said these are things that individuals in the community can do. But when they do not do it, and I see a chairman of council intervening in that sector, I want to say well done to chairman of council, Yoko Okporo. Now my question is this. You're talking about 1,000 school desks. I want to appeal and also ask the question. Can chairman increase that number? Because I don't see 1,000 desks taking care of this.
All right, thank you very much, Soti.
Electricity drives economy.
Soti, unfortunately, time would not allow us to take much more. So sorry about that. We'll see if we can hear Alozie in Omuma, but unfortunately, that can't work. We'll take one more. Emeka Inelele, quickly, just tell us your question. What's your question?
My dear brother, good morning.
Good morning.
So, I want to sincerely commend all the local government chairman. I don't have a question. because especially in my own local government, my local government chairman is all the development is going on.
All right.
Other people in other AGA. So
All
I
right,
want to
Emeka.
commend them. They should keep on the good work.
All right, Emeka, thank you very much. Mr. David, quickly, in 1 minute, let's get your parting words. What do we expect? What is the situation with the budget for 2025? Do we get to see it? How much is the allocation for Ahoada West? Is it public knowledge?
For budget issue, first of all, there's something called continuing appropriation. That allows for the budget of the previous fiscal year to be used in the other year, especially because what is based on maybe provisions for essential activities. There's probably what we call budget that helps for capital expenditure, which remains valid beyond the fiscal year.
Okay.
And I just told you that in November, we had
a supplementary one
budget of which we are using.
All right.
All right. And it's still subsisting. Of that budget, the total budget was about 4.3
All right, Mr. David, sorry to interrupt you. We don't have time. We have to go for a commercial now quickly. If you can furnish us with these documents, we'll be very grateful. And we would also be very grateful if we get information as to what the council receives as allocation on a monthly basis. I'm pretty sure that's public information.
Yes, of course.
All right. Please do that for us. We have a commercial now, and so we have to wrap things up. You've done fantastically well for us on the show today. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. David.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right. Quickly then. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. A commercial is next. Good morning.